And today we are hitting the accelerator on a truly colossal topic.
You really are.
We are diving deep into the source material covering the high-stakes All-American field for the 2026 Motor Trend Truck of the Year competition.
And this year's competition wasn't just big. It was defined by this radical diversity. We saw the segment's most coveted award attract, well, everything from dedicated electric commercial vans to these specialized off-road titans.
And the return of a classic engine, right?
Yeah, the return of a championship-winning engine and, the ongoing evolution of that small truck sensation. Our sources confirm a massive mix EVs, diesels, trucks of all sizes. It really tells the story of an industry that's kind of scrambling to redefine what a truck even is anymore.
It feels like the ultimate benchmark. I mean, when you look at the 6 distinct nameplates, and it's 9 total contenders.
9 total, yeah.
It's clear that manufacturers are just pushing their boundaries. Trucks aren't just, utilitarian tools anymore.
Not at all. They're complex lifestyle vehicles, they're efficiency experiments, and more and more, they are platforms for some really cutting-edge electrification.
So our mission today is pretty specific. We need to dissect the process.
Exactly. We need to uncover how Motor Trend evaluates these machines against its 6 very demanding criteria. And it's important to understand these are measures of progress, not just a direct head-to-head comparison.
Right.
We'll analyze what specific changes qualified these 9 contenders, and most critically, we'll look at the strengths, some shocking weaknesses, and the crucial judging feedback that was identified right before the winner was announced.
The bar isn't just high. The criteria demand evolution in every single category. It's not enough to haul the most or look the toughest.
Yep.
You have to push the segment forward across value, safety, performance, engineering. I mean, the amount of rigorous, documented testing these trucks endured makes just qualifying for this a massive validation.
It's a huge hurdle just to get invited.
Okay, so let's get right into the framework they use to judge them.
Let's do it.
To even make it to the testing grounds, a truck has to clear that first foundational hurdle. Eligibility.
Right.
And the sources say this rule is absolute. A truck must be either all new or significantly revised.
And that eligibility requirement is it's absolutely foundational to understanding why certain models are here and others aren't. It immediately focuses the conversation away from, the old champions and squarely onto innovation.
It keeps them honest.
It does. If you're a legacy maker like Ram, you have to prove you haven't just been sitting still, that your update is substantial enough to really move the needle. If you're entering an EV, you have to show genuine production-ready innovation. It basically forces manufacturers to spend money on R&D every single year if they want a shot at the title.
That raises a really important question, especially for the defending champion, the Ram 1500, which we'll get to. Why does resurrecting an engine, for instance, count as a significant revision?
That's a great question.
Versus just launching an entirely new platform.
It speaks to the depth of the change required. Bringing back an engine, like the Hemi, isn't just, bolting in an old part. That engine has to be integrated with modern emission standards.
Right.
That often requires entirely new transmission tuning, really sophisticated engine management software, and maybe even revised chassis mounting points to meet today's performance and NVH. That's noise, vibration, and harshness requirements.
So it's a holistic change.
It is. If the revision fundamentally alters the vehicle's performance envelope and targets a new market segment, which a V8 definitely does compared to a twin-turbo inline-6, it qualifies. It's about the whole package.
Okay, so once they're in, they are measured against the Motor Trend's 6 key criteria. And the sources stress this. It's not a direct comparison. You can't compare a Ford Maverick to a Ram 2500.
No, not head-to-head. It's a measure against progress within their own spheres.
Let's start the deep dive into those criteria, beginning with the highly subjective but critically important metric of value.
Value. Yeah, what truly makes a truck a smart purchase in 2026?
And this is where the diversity of the contenders really complicates things for the judges. I mean, the value of a, $25,000 Maverick is defined completely differently than a $90,000 Ram 2500 Limited.
Completely differently.
Yeah.
Exactly. For the Maverick, value is defined by maximizing utility and features while minimizing cost and fuel consumption. It's the affordability index.
It's a tool.
It's a tool that provides maximum function for the dollar. Now, when we look at Ram's strategy, submitting both the affordable Warlock and the premium Laramie trims of the 1500. Very smart. They're trying to prove they can deliver value across the entire spectrum. The Warlock offers value through sheer robustness and accessibility, while the Laramie offers value through luxury, refinement, and premium tech relative to its high price. You're getting features and interior quality that can rival a luxury sedan.
And the judges have to look at depreciation too, right? Total cost of
Oh,
ownership.
absolutely. That's a huge part of the value calculation.
Okay, moving on. Let's analyze safety. This used to just mean, structural rigidity and airbags.
Right. How well it holds up in a crash.
But in the modern truck world, it's so much more complex, especially with these vehicles pushing massive weights.
You're right. The conversation has shifted entirely toward active safety. Modern trucks, whether they're an EV or a diesel, have to not only exceed passive safety standards, the crash performance, but also incorporate these highly integrated ADAS, advanced driver assistance systems.
And the technical challenge there must be adapting ADAS to the weight.
It's a huge challenge. For the Silverado EV, which is carrying a massive battery pack, the braking and stability control systems have to be so precisely tuned to manage that mass, particularly in an emergency maneuver.
Or even during regeneration.
Even during regen, yeah. And for the Ram 2500, the ADS has to be calibrated to safely manage everything. Stability control, blind spot monitoring, automatic emergency braking while you're towing 15,000 pounds.
That's a whole different ballgame.
It is. That specialized ADS calibration for heavy loads is a key factor in scoring high on the safety criterion for heavy-duty trucks.
Okay, the third pillar is efficiency. And like you said, we can't just talk about miles per gallon anymore.
No, that's way too simplistic now. It requires a much broader perspective on energy consumption as a whole.
This is where you really see the clash, right? The new guard versus the heavy metal.
It's the starkest contrast. For the compact Maverick hybrid, the judges are looking for exceptional fuel economy, pushing beyond 40 mpg combined, and they're analyzing the efficiency of the hybrid transition system itself.
And for the EVs,
Yeah.
the Bright Drop and the Silverado,
For them, it's all about energy consumption miles per kilowatt hour and the sophistication of the battery thermal management system, the BTMS.
okay, why is the BTMS so important for this competition?
Because it directly impacts usable range and longevity, which are, key components of efficiency. If the BTMS can't keep the battery pack at its optimal temperature during severe duty, say towing in the desert heat, or trying to fast charge in the freezing cold, the efficiency just plummets.
So the smartest engineering might be hidden there.
A lot of the time, the most sophisticated engineering in an EV is hidden in that temperature management system. And then you've got the Ram 2500 diesel, where efficiency is judged almost entirely by its performance under load.
Right. Who cares what it gets empty?
Exactly. A truck might get 25 mpg unladen, but if it drops to 8 mpg when it's hauling a trailer up a grade, it fails the efficiency test in its most critical context. Motor trend testing involves specific load factors and challenging grades to quantify that towing efficiency precisely.
Now for the criterion that feels absolutely tailor-made for this segment, performance of intended function.
Ah, yes, my favorite.
You have to be brilliant at what you were designed to do.
This is the criterion that leads to the most pointed, the most memorable judge critiques, because it demands honesty from the manufacturer. If you call it a trail boss.
The trail better not be the boss of you.
Exactly. The judges will find terrain that makes the trail boss them if the truck is weak. If the Ram Power Wagon claims extreme off-road capability, it has to prove that it's electronically disconnecting sway bars, its locking diffs, its heavy-duty winch, all of that is integrated seamlessly to conquer truly awful terrain.
And on the flip side, the Maverick Lobo street truck.
Conversely, yeah, if it's claiming street sport performance, it has to have crisp steering, limited body roll, and linear power delivery on pavement. This is where a truck with great tech can still fail if its fundamental capability is compromised by, say, excessive weight or just poor suspension tuning.
All right, criterion 5, design advancement. This is about genuine forward-looking innovation, not just making it look cool.
Not just aesthetics, no. Design advancement looks at how the manufacturer utilized space and technology. This is crucial for the EVs, where that skateboard platform allows for innovative packaging.
Like the low floor in the Bright Drop.
A low flat load floor in the Bright Drop, or the mid-gate system in the Silverado EV. It also applies to the interior. How well are the controls placed? Are the giant screens integrated seamlessly without sacrificing the physical controls you need for truck stuff like trailer brake gain?
Right, and you need buttons for some things.
You do. For the Maverick, design advancement included maximizing utility in a tiny space, like the FlexBed system allowing customization, and refining the interior ergonomics so it feels less like an economy car. It's about clever utility.
And finally, the foundation for all of it, engineering excellence, the unseen details.
This is the metric for the real gearheads and engineers on the panel. It analyzes powertrain sophistication, chassis design, and the overall quality of construction. For the Ram 2500, engineering excellence means scrutinizing the heavy-duty frame.
Mhm.
Is it fully boxed? What materials are used?
And the suspension is huge for Ram.
Huge. We know the Ram 2500 relies on an advanced 5-link coil suspension, or, in higher trims, an auto-leveling air suspension. The judges are assessing how well that complex system handles immense payload while also maintaining an unladen ride quality that rivals a half-ton. That's the magic trick.
And for the EVs, it's about motor integration and battery structure.
Power delivery smoothness, and how well that structural battery is integrated into the chassis. It's all about the deep-down details.
It sounds like an overwhelming list, but applying it requires the rigorous testing gauntlet, and Motor Trend breaks it into two distinct stages.
They do. Stage 1 is the professional proving ground. This is the non-negotiable data collection phase.
Just the facts.
Just the facts. Every truck goes through instrumented tests, precise measurements of acceleration, both laden and unladen, panic braking distances, which are critical for heavy-duty trucks, and meticulous validation of towing capacity and payload limits. Data always precedes opinion. You can't argue with accelerometer readings.
And then stage 2 is the immersive real-world evaluation, a full week of driving.
Over a week, yeah. This is where the subjective reality of ownership and sustained performance kicks in.
So they're living with these trucks.
Absolutely. The judges cover hundreds of miles, simulating every core truck duty. This includes significant towing and payload hauling over long distances, which tests the efficiency claims and chassis durability. They do extensive freeway drives for everyday utility, testing NVH levels and ADAS function, and crucially, they run dirt road sections and serious off-roading courses.
If you claim it, you've got to prove it.
You have to prove it across diverse terrain, climbing rocky sections, navigating steep descents, handling high-speed washboard roads without, jarring the driver's fillings out.
And we have to emphasize the unique procedural difference that sets this whole competition apart. The unique TOT format means there are no finalists.
This is a major, major point of differentiation. Every single one of the 9 contenders goes the full distance, through the proving grounds and the entire week of real-world evaluation.
So no one gets cut early.
No one. This intensive process ensures that a niche contender, or maybe a surprisingly good value proposition, doesn't get overlooked in some initial beauty contest. Every truck is held to the same high standard of scrutiny across all 6 criteria from start to finish.
That sets the stage perfectly. We know the rules of engagement, we know the required intensity. Now, let's meet the field, starting with the innovative entries that represent the future and the new utility of the segment, the new guard.
I'm ready. We transition now from the evaluation metrics to the actual metal, starting with the innovative and electric entries and how legacy automakers are strategically adjusting their product lineups.
The most unexpected contender, and one that required a specific rule interpretation to even be included, is Contender 1, the Chevrolet BrightDrop, the commercial electric van.
Yes, the van. The sources confirm how rare this is. Delivery vans are generally excluded unless they represent some fundamental shift, which this dedicated EV platform certainly does.
And it started life as the BrightDrop Evo, right?
It did, but it was recently rebadged as a Chevrolet. This strategic move suggests GM understood that to compete here, or maybe just to ease fleet procurement for businesses, leveraging the Chevrolet brand equity was necessary. It signals GM's commitment to placing this commercial offering center stage.
What's so fascinating is the paradox the judges found. They were summarily impressed with it. So what specific design or engineering elements do you think earned that high praise?
Well, in a commercial context, being summarily impressed means they nailed the core utilitarian metrics. The judges likely praised the incredibly low load floor.
Which is a huge deal for a delivery driver.
It's a massive efficiency gain. It dramatically improves driver ergonomics, reduces loading time. The dedicated electric architecture maximizes cargo volume, and the cabin design is likely optimized for visibility and quick ingress and egress. These are all huge marks in performance of intended function for a delivery vehicle.
But then, the sources dropped the bomb. Despite being impressed, the BrightDrop has just one huge, insurmountable problem. Now, we hypothesize this points away from engineering. If they were so impressed, shouldn't the engineering stand on its own?
You would think so, but this is why the criteria of value and performance of intended function have to be viewed through the lens of the actual customer.
Oh, okay.
When the problem is called insurmountable, it means the obstacle is external, systemic, and currently unavoidable. If the judges had to apply the value criteria to a massive fleet purchase, The total cost of ownership calculation would just hit a brick wall if the local power grid or the required charging infrastructure cost or the lack of standardized repair facilities create prohibitive capital expenditure.
So we're talking about the infrastructure failing the truck, not the truck failing the infrastructure.
That's it, exactly. For a major logistics company, converting hundreds of delivery hubs to handle a charging load isn't a minor expense. It's a multi-million-dollar logistical and financial nightmare.
So even if the van is technically perfect,
Even if it's perfect and highly efficient on paper, if a company can't operate it reliably within their existing logistics model, its value proposition just plummets. It's an advancement that's kind of waiting for the world to catch up to it.
that distinction is key. A vehicle of the future hitting a barrier rooted in the infrastructure of today.
And that creates this fascinating tension for the judges. Do you reward the engineering excellence of the vehicle, or do you penalize it for a market reality it can't currently overcome? That is a very tough call.
Okay, let's move to the full-size electric segment with Contender 2, the Chevrolet Silverado EV Trail Boss.
So Chevy signaled a pretty significant strategic shift here. They moved away from the premium RST trim at the top and replaced it with the rugged Trail Boss.
So they're leaning into capability over luxury for their EV truck.
Exactly. They are trying to define their flagship EV truck not through luxury, but through perceived capability and durability, aligning the electric segment with the traditional definition of a tough truck.
Unfortunately, this is the truck that got that brutal critique we mentioned. It didn't boss the trails so much as it let them do the bossing. That is a direct, measurable failure of performance of intended function.
It is a devastating critique for a truck wearing the Trail Boss badge. It strongly suggests that the engineering compromises inherent in a large EV. Primarily, the massive weight of the battery pack positioned so low on the chassis fundamentally undermined its off-road geometry.
The weight is the killer.
It has to be. Even if the truck has advanced systems like four-wheel steering or sophisticated torque vectoring, the sheer mass affects approach and departure angles, ground clearance optimization, and the suspension travel you need to articulate over severe obstacles.
So while the EV architecture is great for street performance and that instant power, it handicaps the Trail Boss in its namesake environment.
Precisely. The judges do not care how fast it is on the asphalt if it scrapes its belly or struggles with articulation on the rocks. That said,
There was a but.
there was. The source notes there was a lot to like about Chevy's electric pickup truck.
So that redemption must have come from high scores in other areas.
It does. It likely scored exceptionally high in design advancement for innovative features like the unique mid-gate system, which greatly expands cargo flexibility, and perhaps in engineering excellence for its road manners. EV platforms often offer silent operation, instant torque, and a refined ride quality that surpasses internal combustion counterparts on smooth pavement.
So it's a truck of extremes.
Very much so. Technologically advanced and comfortable on the highway, but functionally limited when you push it into serious off-roading.
Next up is the sibling rivalry entry. Contender 3, the GMC Sierra EV Elevation.
So like Chevy, GMC strategically adjusted its electric trucks lineup. They added the elevation at the bottom. This is intended to be a new, cheaper point of entry beneath the high-end Denali trims.
Broadening the appeal and trying to score better on that value criterion.
Exactly. It's a smart move to capture a larger segment of the, still growing EV truck market.
But the sources raise a critical issue with the specific test vehicle they submitted, the optioning issue. The test truck was optioned heavily, being driven right back into the thick of things.
And this creates a major conflict for the judges. If GMC's goal was to showcase an affordable entry point, but the test truck shows up with thousands of dollars in premium packages, advanced trailering tech, high-end interior treatments, optional air suspension, it just negates the value proposition.
So they have to judge what's in front of them.
They have to assess the vehicle as configured, and if that configuration pushes the price into Denali or high-end Silverado EV territory, it stops competing as a value-oriented entry, and it's forced to compete on luxury and features against trucks specifically designed for that price point.
In other words, the Elevation loses its unique selling proposition when it's all dressed up.
Exactly. It makes the truck less competitive because it's not delivering that segment-defining value. Motor Trend is looking for advancement that benefits the consumer, and if the entry-level trim requires expensive optioning just to feel competitive, the judges are going to flag that as a failure to deliver on the affordability promise.
Now we shift gears completely to the small truck sensation Contender 4, the Ford Maverick. This truck has been a cultural phenomenon since 2022.
It really has.
And the sources say this year's comprehensive update made it even better.
The Maverick's importance really can't be overstated. It single-handedly revived the compact truck segment by offering sedan-like efficiency and car-like pricing, all wrapped in genuine utility.
So for it to qualify this year, the updates had to be substantial.
Very substantial. And the sources confirmed two key gains that the market had been, quote, clamoring for.
The first one was the AWD hybrid version. Combining all-wheel drive and the hybrid powertrain was previously impossible in the Maverick lineup.
And this is a monumental step in segment advancement, a huge win for consumer utility. Previously, buyers had to choose. You could have the exceptional efficiency of the hybrid, but only with front-wheel drive.
Which limits you in snow or on dirt roads.
For sure. Or you could opt for the more powerful EcoBoost turbo engine just to get all-wheel drive. The AWD hybrid eliminates that compromise. It delivers necessary traction and vastly expands the truck's practicality for those in northern states or anyone needing enhanced capability without sacrificing that famous hybrid fuel economy.
It's a direct shot at the midsize segment.
It is. It forces competitors to deliver capability with far greater efficiency.
And the second key gain was the introduction of the dedicated Sport logo street truck. What does the factory embrace of a sport model signify for this small truck market?
The logo is Ford giving a huge nod to truck culture and performance niches. It signifies that the Maverick platform is now mature enough to diversify beyond pure utility.
So this is all about on-road performance.
All about it. We're looking at specific suspension tuning, maybe stiffer springs and anti-roll bars, and a focus on the most potent version of the EcoBoost engine, coupled with performance styling. This feels like a return to the great factory street truck era of the 90s and early 2000s.
Like the Ford Lightning or the Chevy S10 Extreme.
Exactly like that. It meets a new interpretation of performance of intended function, delivering fun, precise, street-focused driving dynamics in a compact truck package. Ford showed the judges that the Maverick isn't just a utilitarian appliance. It's a versatile platform ready for all kinds of different consumer demands.
The Maverick update really is a masterclass in listening to the consumer.
It really is. By submitting both the immensely practical AWD hybrid and the niche Lobo, Ford made sure that judges saw the full spectrum of advancement this update represents.
Okay, we shift now. Moving from the lightweight, electrified, and compact segments back to the traditional heartland of the American truck market.
Back to the big guns.
If the new guard is defined by kilowatt hours and tight packaging, Ram is countering with a triumphant return to cubic inches and absolute towing capability.
Ram's strategy is really interesting. It encompasses both the half-ton segment, where they have a defending champion, and the heavy-duty segment, where they leveraged a heavy update to qualify. It's an aggressive, comprehensive approach.
Contender 5, the Ram 1500 Hemi, enters with the distinct advantage and maybe disadvantage of being the defending 2025 Truck of the Year. It had to show significant advancement just to be here.
For sure. That win validates its excellence in previous versions, but like we discussed, eligibility required a major revision. And the key revision for this year, which grabbed all the headlines, is the resurrected Hemi engine under the hood.
The return of the Hemi is a massive cultural statement. In an era where every manufacturer, including Ram, is pushing smaller displacement turbos or EVs, why bring back the traditional V8 now, and how does that count as significant?
It's a calculated dual-purpose strategy. It addresses consumer loyalty and segment differentiation. The Hemi badge carries immense heritage and, frankly, emotional weight. There's a large group of truck buyers who trust and prefer the proven robustness, the sound, and the linear power delivery of a naturally aspirated V8 for towing.
They see turbos or hybrids as potential failure points.
Many do, yeah. And technically, bringing it back required significant engineering to ensure it meets the latest, very stringent emissions requirements. It's not the exact same Hemi from 5 years ago. This likely involved revising the exhaust gas recirculation systems, complex cylinder deactivation protocols, and optimizing fuel injection timing. That all constitutes a significant revision.
So it's not just a legacy move, it's an engineering refresh designed to maintain brand loyalty and offer powertrain diversity.
Precisely. It allows Ram to appeal simultaneously to the efficiency-minded with their newer powertrains and to the traditionalists who just demand that V8 power and sound.
And Ram was meticulous in how they presented the 1500 Hemi for testing. They sent two models, the affordable Warlock and the fancier Laramie.
This is Ram's genius approach to conquering the value criteria. The Warlock trim is the utility play. It strips away expensive luxury features, but keeps the core performance and capability of the Hemi platform.
Maximum bang for your buck.
Exactly. This ensures the judges see strong value in the affordable working-class version. The Laramie, on the other hand, focuses on premium features, technology, and interior refinement. By testing both, Ram ensures that if the judges critique the Laramie for its high price, the Warlock stands ready to prove the truck's fundamental value and capability are still accessible. It's a strategy designed to eliminate any blind spots in the value assessment.
Okay, now we move up the capability and complexity scale to Contender 6, the Ram 2500. This one qualified based on a heavy update for the year.
And heavy-duty updates are always crucial because the margin for error is so much smaller and the capabilities are just immense. A heavy update for a 2500 usually implies deep revisions to the chassis and technology, focused entirely on safety, longevity, and towing prowess.
And the sources suggest this update was substantive enough to put it squarely in the running for engineering excellence and functional supremacy.
It seems so.
Ram went all out, sending two titans to vie for the title: a long wheelbase limited and a burly power wagon. This feels like it mirrors the 1500 strategy, but with exponentially higher capabilities.
That's an excellent observation. The long wheelbase limited is the technological and luxury flagship. It's asking the judges, can a heavy-duty truck be this capable while offering the refinement of a luxury SUV?
So its testing focuses on ride quality and tech.
Exactly. The quality of its ride, the sophistication of its ADS systems when trailering, and the overall fit and finish. It's aiming for high marks in design advancement and overall refinement.
And then you have the Power Wagon, which is just a singularly focused vehicle.
The Power Wagon is pure, unadulterated performance of intended function. It is engineered for the extreme. The judges would have put it through grueling off-road tests, relying on its specialized hardware.
The disconnecting sway bar, the winch.
The electronically disconnecting sway bar for massive wheel articulation, the heavy-duty Warn winch integrated into the bumper, and the specialized locking front and rear diffs. The heavy update likely improved the integration of its off-road telemetry and capability modes. That vehicle is designed to be unstoppable.
And the feedback was that the judges were definitely impressed.
Which suggests it absolutely nailed its specialized mission.
Okay, so the Power Wagon's performance in the deep dirt must have been phenomenal. But here's the inherent difficulty, the central question facing the judges.
A big one.
Was that impressive, specialized, heavy-duty performance enough to overcome the broader consumer appeal and genuine mass-market segment advancement we saw in the Maverick AWD hybrid?
And this is the definitive challenge of Truck of the Year. The criteria measure progress, not just absolute performance. The Ram 2500 Power Wagon is likely the pinnacle of capability in its niche, no question. But MotorTrend has to weigh that specialized, incremental perfection against the kind of mass-market innovation that fundamentally changes how millions of people use a vehicle, like the Maverick combining AWD and hybrid for the first time. The winner has to demonstrate advancement across the widest set of criteria and for the broadest audience possible, or prove that its specialized achievement is so groundbreaking it redefines its entire segment.
It's the working professional versus the everyday consumer.
It's a tough balance for the judges to strike. It really is.
The stage is set for a monumental and maybe a controversial decision.
Could be.
Okay, let's bring the entire field into focus. We had the most diverse competition in years for 2026, showcasing the tumultuous but exciting state of the American truck market.
It was a wild field.
We saw the disruptive potential of the commercial van, the Bright Drop, which was technically impressive, but fundamentally blocked by an external logistical hurdle. We noted the segment confusion inherent in the Silverado EV Trail Boss,
Which failed its primary off-road mission despite strong performance elsewhere.
Right. We witnessed genuine mass-market innovation in the Ford Maverick, which finally delivered that highly requested, segment-defining AWD hybrid.
And then Ram. Ram strategically defended the crown, bringing back the culture of the Hemi in the 1500 and demonstrating absolute specialized capability with the heavily updated 2500 Power Wagon.
It's a field that perfectly encapsulates the current tectonic shifts.
It really is. You see electrification driving entirely new concepts, lineup diversification, creating these niche products like the Lobo Street Truck and the Power Wagon, and crucially, manufacturers like Ford responding directly to years of pent-up customer demands.
And the Ram entries were about complexity management.
A total showcase in complexity management balancing traditional power with modern refinement and safety tech, especially in that 2500.
The ultimate challenge for the judges, as we've discussed, was balancing that highly specialized, zero-compromise performance of a vehicle like the Power Wagon
which performed its intended function flawlessly.
with the fundamental mass-market advancement achieved by an affordable, efficient, highly practical truck like the Maverick AWD Hybrid. The vehicle that walks away with the title isn't simply the best at one thing.
No, it's the one that moves the needle the furthest for the future of the entire segment across all 6 of those key criteria.
And this rapid pace of change is precisely why this competition matters to you, the listener.
Absolutely. These results highlight where the industry is dedicating billions in engineering resources. They signal the future balance between efficiency and capability, and they show which manufacturers are actually listening to their customers and providing real-world value, whether you're buying one truck for your commute or specing an entire fleet.
The choices made by the judges today determine which technological priorities will dominate the dealership floor in the coming years.
That's right.
We saw the engineering leap forward, particularly with the EVs, but we keep coming back to that one intriguing cliffhanger, the bright drop. The judges were summarily impressed. Engineering, design, utility, all stellar. Yet the problem was insurmountable.
And given that the vehicle itself appears to be a success, we have to conclude that the insurmountable barrier is logistical, or financial, or regulatory. The cost of infrastructure, the challenge of charging hundreds of vehicles simultaneously, maybe the unexpected complexity of battery recycling and long-term logistics.
Which leaves us with a provocative closing thought.
If Motor Trend's competition proves that the engineering barriers to highly capable electric commercial vehicles are already solved, does the winner of Truck of the Year also need to solve the logistical and economic barriers?
It's a fascinating question. If the industry's greatest technical achievements are being handicapped by external, non-technical realities, it forces us to redefine what excellence truly means in the EV era.
It's a tension between brilliant engineering and real-world economics.
Something for you to mull over as that massive commercial sector attempts to make that gigantic infrastructure-dependent leap.
Indeed. We look forward to seeing which truck managed to solve the most problems and took home the prize.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. We hope you feel thoroughly informed on the state of truckdom. We'll catch you next time.